Good morning, everybody. How we doing this morning? This is Dan with you again. We're going to go out today and try to do another video if we can. It's a cold, snowy day here in southern Appalachia, but we must not stop. We got to do the video, so we're going to go out here, and it's cold weather. It's 25 degrees here, and we're going to try to do this a video. This is going to be a good one, I think. We're going to Gary, West Virginia. It's a little town here in southern West Virginia that most you probably haven't heard of, but there's some significant things that's happened here in the past, and we're going to go over two of them today, and very interesting. One of the things is the coal preparation plant that we're here, which is gone now. We're going to go to the site today. Was once the largest coal preparation plant in the world. It was called Alpheus Prep Plant. And also, we're going to end the video out today at the old graveyard that me and Leo was at one time. It was the only graveyard that a U.S. route highway went through the middle of. So we're going to end the video there, but we're going to do some other stuff in between. So we're headed in toward Gary, and once we get there, I'll get right back with you, okay? Okay, folks, we're entering into Gary, West Virginia here now, and we will get up here about where the prep plant is, and that's where we'll start the video today, and we'll get back with you just in just a little bit. Well, I found me a place to pull off here so I don't get run over. I'll tell you a little bit about Gary, the history of it there, just a little bit, when it was formed and all that. It says Gary is located along the Tuck Fork River in McDowell County, West Virginia. The city has a population of 762, but that was in 1971. Founders was U.S. Steel Mining Corporation, and at the time of 762 people, it was like I said, it was in 1971. In 1902, U.S. Steel began housing people in Gary, Holler, for employment. During the 1940s, Gary, Holler was named from Elbert Henry Gary, which produced around a quarter amount of the coal mine from McDowell County, as well as a quarter of the coal used by U.S. Steel during World War II. At the time, the town boasted a large number of African Americans and different miners, and they integrated school systems in 1950. On July 1st, 1971, the city of Gary was incorporated after the city held an election on March 16, 1970. So U.S. Steel really what formed this little city here, this little town, and we're going to get into how it was done and in this preparation plant that I was talking about earlier. This huge plant. I got a real nice picture of it that I'm gonna put up here just in a little bit. But we're gonna go up here to the site and talk about it a little bit. And I never worked there, but my daddy worked there, Raymond. He worked not in the plant, but at the number 2 mines there, which was connected through the plant there to the mines number 2 and number 10, which was there together. So we're going to ride up here, and we're going to try to get out in this cold and show you where it was at, and show you a little loadout there now. They're still bringing refuge off the mountain, which coal off the mountain that was sent up there. We'll get into that in just a few minutes, why it's up there, how it come up on the mountain, while they're bringing it back down now. So let's go up there and check it out. Well, I found me a place to pull over here close to where the plant used to be, and the belt line still goes across the highway here. But this plant was under construction in 1947. It was during that time, it was the largest coal preparation plant in the world. Folks, that's saying a lot. It was the biggest and largest producer in the world at that time, the Alpheus preparation plant. There were 2 mines here There was number 2. Number 2 was the mines that my daddy worked at here. On the right side, I think on the left side going up, and on the right side over here was number 10. It was different mines, which my uncle worked at. So I never worked at either one of them, but I was a guard for U.S. Steel back in the 80s, security guard / EMT. We would use they would use us for security, and they would use us for EMTs. They had their own ambulances that they used. They had 5 or 6 here that I remember. Back in the old days, though, they had a real old ambulance. Let me put the picture up for it here, the old ambulance that they used back in the day. But anyway, yeah, they would use us to transport their injured men to the hospital. And that's what we was hired for. I think the company was called, forget what it was, Greg Security or something like that. But anyway, I worked there for a little while. But anyway, we get into this preparation plant. It done all the screening, the sizing of the coal, all the cleaning. It was designed for the coke ovens that U.S. Steel had here all up and down this holler. There was coke ovens everywhere. Even down toward number 2 here, along the side under the road here, there was coke ovens. All up through here at number 3, by Powerhouse Road, up that way. We're going to go up that way here just a little bit and look at the giant power plant that they put in here to run all this stuff back in the day. But anyway, in 1985, the preparation plant processed 3 million tons of raw coal and delivered 1.7 million tons of clean coal. This 57% recovery was accomplished with 2 shifts, 75 people each. A third shift was used for maintenance. Yeah, my daddy used to say, son, I got to work third shift this week. He says, we're going to have to do maintenance on stuff on Hoodow. We called it Hoodow shift. But, yeah, he worked here from 69. I think he was hard in 69 up through the mid-80s. He worked here. But anyhow, I think in 1986, the plant shut down, and the coal and stuff was a newer preparation plant was built over there at 50 at Pineville, which I ended up working over there a little while too myself. So says the United States Steel closed all of its operations at number 2 in 1986. The years of operation at number 2 mines produced 74,195,696 tons of coal. Wow. Ranks its number 1 in production in the Gary Works. Wow. Folks, here's where it used to be. If you can see through the trees here, there is a little small plant that's sitting over there under the hill. The trees has got it all growed over here, and that right here in this spot. But right here is the old belt line that goes to the top, and this thing is still in operation. It brings coal back off of here. As you can see, there's a coal pile over there. And all down through there used to be number 2. Coming into a place here, across the bridge here to the right, called Lab Holler. Used to take coal samples up in here. Over here to the right, we won't go over in there because we'll get in trouble. But there's a place you went through the mountain there, and you go up there to the laboratory and have the coal samples sampled. But right through here, I got a picture here I'm gonna put up. It's back in 01 or 06 here. Right through here, they had done road construction. and it's really neat, I thought, to look at. But anyhow, getting back to the laboratory, used to bring coal samples up there from all the different mines here around here, even from over 50 over there, bring them over here to have sampled to see if their yield was right, to see if their coal was right for what they was making coke, you know, the coke for making steel out of. U.S. Steel used to rebuild all their equipment in back in the day. They didn't depend on anybody. They done their own stuff. They done all the rebuilding, all the windings, motors, and all that. And this up here, folks, this is a bridge that they used to come across the river here, across some railroad tracks, because there was so much traffic on the railroad that they built this bridge so they can get over here to go to these coke ovens and these buildings over here. I just thought I'd show you that. That's very interesting, I thought. It was windy out here this morning, for sure. So all this preparation plants and all this mining equipment and all the stuff they had to do to get the coal rolling, they had to have power in here. And this was a place back in 1901 or 1902 that was back in the sticks. They didn't have power in here. So U.S. Steel made their own. So they had a preparation plant to build. They had all these mines around here to run, tipples. And they just didn't have the power to run it. So they had to make their own power plants. So actually, first they put one down in a little place called Grapevine, right before you get into Gary. It done all right for a little while, but as production, as advancement of equipment and more equipment, they had to have something bigger. So they moved up here to where I'm at now, at number 3, and put in a brand new big power plant. This thing was a huge thing. I got pictures of it here to show you. I'll show you the remnants of it. We'll go out and do a little walk here just in a few minutes. I know you just don't want to hear me sitting in the vehicle, but we're gonna go out here and do a little walk and show you where all this old stuff stood at back in the day. Says here, as the Gary operation continued to develop, with opening new mines, establishing communities, the need for electric power took on a different dimension, and the need of greater generating capacity was recognized from the very onset of the operations. Plans were developed for the beginning to construct a central power generation plant to supply the needs of expected operations. So this is where we're at now. We're going to go out here and take a little walk and show you where this all sit, and show you where the power plant is now today. There's one up here that's run by Appalachian Power Company. We won't go to it, but we'll go close enough so you can see it. But this was a very huge plant, power plant. It run 25 cycle. We didn't get 60 cycle till later on, till when Appalachian Power come in and started their service for 60 cycle. So everything that U.S. Steel had back in the day run off a 25 cycle, which was a different power source. And fluorescent lights and stuff like that wouldn't be run on 25 cycles. So later on, things got brighter as it changed over to the 60 cycle power. I could talk all day about this area right here, but we're trying to confine it down to where to kind of make it interesting. But with Appalachian Power coming in the late 1940s, they constructed a substation upstream from the power plant and began delivering a contracted amount of 60 cycle power to United States Steel Corporation. The company, at their new 15,000 kVA substation that was built in 1948. They delivered 34,000.4 kV power was either distributed to the mines as the voltage is stepped down to 7.2. This station was put into service in January 1949. So, forgot to reiterate that on September 2nd of 1955 at 2:31 p.m., the turbines whined to a slow stop of the power plant. The smoke from the 200-foot chimney stacks dispersed into an atmosphere of a final mingling with the clouds. The Gary power plant had served its purpose for converting coal and water into steam electrons. The lazy flicker of the incandescent lights burning at a 25-cycle electricity now would have a new brilliance. At the end had come generating electricity to Gary Holler after more than half a century. Wow. So they changed that over to 60-cycle power. It said the last of the plant, 2 boilers, which were oil-filled, oil-fired heating units, were shipped to a toy factory in upstate New York in the late 1950s. The power plant, with its 2 concrete chimneys in a silhouette against the sky, would as a monument the narrow valley of Atkins Branch. Gary is a landmark numbers of years. It finally is torn down in the late 1990s. Well, let's go take a look and see if we can see the remnants of where this power plant stood, and maybe check out a little bit of the new one. Let's go check it out. Folks, I'm over here where this big power plant used to stand at one time. It's all grown up now, but you can see some remnants of it over here. Smokestacks over here on the bank here. These things was over 200 foot tall, they said. Excuse me. This whole bottom here is nothing but a huge, huge power plant. But this must be the 2 big smokestacks they were talking about, the base of them. But they were torn down later on, and they stood for many years, they said. But I just wanted to show you this, and we're going to walk up here and I'll show you where the new power plant is now at this time. Well, up there sits the modern day power plant. We won't go much farther to it. I ain't gonna go up to it or anything. But this is where the modern day one sits for Appalachian Power Company that supplies all to Gary, and or helps supply it. So we're going to go back down, and I'm going to show you some other things before we go to the graveyard and end this out today. There's so many things that we could do on showing you here, but I just touching here and there. And I just want to show you a coke oven up real close, if I can get to it down here, right below where this old power plant used to be. So let's go down here and we'll see if we can see it. Y'all, here is a coke oven up close. It's pretty good shape too for most of I've seen around here. Most of them are all broke up and torn up. But this goes all the way around that bank out through there, and look like they're about 10 foot, 15 foot apart. Wow. Something of the past for sure, folks. They produced a lot of coke to produce steel back in the day. And this holler here is full of these old things right here. A lot of them's all growed up. You can't see them at all. Done gone. But here's one still standing. Wow. Y'all, want to show y'all this. I thought this is so neat. This is right here in Main Gary. This is an old-fashioned old whistle that they would blow for an emergency that would happen back in the day. Because there was not much telephones or anything like that way back that would alert people that what was going on, like an emergency, mine disaster, explosion, or anything that would happen in the neighborhood. They would blow this thing and people gathered in, and they would gather and would help whatever needed to be done. But I thought I'd
show you this, and which it's not used anymore, I don't think, but it's a pretty neat little thing there. This was an old shop here that was U.S. still used back in the day. But let's go up to the graveyard and check out this graveyard that a highway goes through the center, that the only one in the United States supposed to be in the Guinness Book of World Records at one time. So let's go check it out. I think me and Leo was in there one time, so let's go take a quick check. Okay, we're over here in this graveyard here, and I was wanting to tell you just a little bit about it. It says U.S. Steel Mining Company first established the cemetery on a hillside, number 10, in around 1900 or so. It's on a 4.3 acre site. That first burial was in 1906. By 1924, nearly was completely filled. Wow. And the last burial was around 1943. They are around 200 graves here at this time. All had headstones and inscriptions of various foreign languages. Yeah, there's all kinds of different nationalities in this graveyard. This is the graveyard, folks. This town was mostly was the people here that built the town mostly. There were people come from other countries and come over here and got work. And this is the graveyard that a U.S. highway runs right through the middle of it. Wow. A lot of names on these stones that I can't even pronounce. Stuff like that. Well, I did make it across the road without getting run over. That's a good thing. And made it up here to the other section of the graveyard. This is the same graveyard that me and Leo was in a year or so ago. And most everybody here, I'm a little bit out of breath. I had to hurry to get across the road. There was a vehicle coming. But most of the folks in this graveyard are of different nationalities. There's young ones, old ones, middle-aged. There are all sorts of different ones in here. But I wanted to end this video here in this here graveyard because most of the people are here. There's 200 graves in here, they say, and they were probably the backbone of this town back in the day when all this coal mining was going on back in the day. They haven't been nobody buried here, from what I can see, since 1946 or 48. So this is a very, very old graveyard, for sure. Maybe one of the stones we can see his name on here that we can see real good. Looks like there's two, it is. There's only one stone. I can't even pronounce it. It's I-T-T-N-Y-U-G-S-Z-I-K. Not using it. Well, y'all, I guess I'll get off this hill. It is cold, the wind's blowing. We got a snowstorm coming, they say, tonight. The wind's picking up. So I hope you like this little video I did today. There's so much more that I can add in on that. I might do different videos on other stuff, maybe go in deeper on coke, what coke was. And I know most of you don't know what coke is for making steel, but go in a little deeper with that. But I just wanted to touch bases on this largest preparation plant in the world at one time, and this graveyard here too, that highway goes through it. So folks, I thank you so much for coming along with me today. This is Appalachian Roots with Dan. Catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.